Hey, all my crafty friends, I'm back with you for another card video. I am so excited to be doing this one. It turned out so cute. I've never done this little like mask off type of situation, and I've seen it done several times, so this is nothing new. But I feel like this is another great way to use those stamps that we're not using and put them to good use. So that is what we're kind of doing over here at Bliss this month, is going back and using our old stamps, because you know that I am definitely a advocate for going back and using our old stamps. I have plenty of stamps. I probably would not need another stamp for the rest of my life, but we all know we will continue to buy new stamps. And this one I have used in a card before, but there's a few sets in this one that like a few like under the sea stamp sets from Bliss that I haven't used, and we're going to use these ones again. So what I did here is I just used my mint tape to block off a section of our paper. I didn't really measure. I kind of just measured with my heart a little bit with my eye. You know, I think it was like a good 1.5-ish, somewhere around there. And then we're going to pull out our cloud stencil to use for waves this time. So yeah, it looks like clouds, but when you put little fishes with it, your mind just thinks waves anyways, right? We are going to ombre our waves / clouds a bit to make it look like we're getting deeper into the ocean. And yeah, I really did love how this one came out. I honestly think that I'll probably go back and pull out a few more sets of other stamp sets that I maybe haven't used or need to use again. I think that there's a few companies out here that would really benefit to cards like this, but also like Halloween cards, bat cards, any type of bird cards that you have from Bliss. All of those would definitely be able to translate with this one. So we did start out with Whisper, I think, and then went to Sky, and then I ended with Sapphire, I believe, on this one to get a nice deep blue. Let me see. Oh no, Odyssey. It looks like Odyssey. I ended up with Odyssey for my ink colors, and I just love this. I then kept all of my coloring to definitely monochromatic to make it easier. I think I've done this one before where I did nice crazy colors on all my fishes, because they can definitely handle those type of designs, but this one we kept definitely monochromatic. I then used Odyssey on my glass mat with a little bit of water to make some splatters. I loved also how this turned out. There we go. And like, it kind of looks like little, like air bubbles in the water, pretty much. All before taking off my mint tape. You could use Post-it notes. You could use any type of low tack tape that you have. You could literally use like scraps pieces of paper if you do not have. Just, secure them down. Whatever you have. Look at how cute that is. I love this. We are using You Are Amazing stamp. Ooh, this one came, I wish I would have shown it. Oh no, I'll have to look it up. I will definitely put everything below in the description. I'll have to look that one up. I cannot remember where I got the You Are Amazing stamp from. Because I just wanted to make like an everyday card. Like, it didn't need to be like a birthday card or anything like that. I've made a few birthday cards, so we're getting our stash back up of those. We've made some Valentine's Day cards lately. So yeah, I just wanted a regular everyday card. Here I am just dry fitting these ones. And I think I ended up sticking with this one stamp set. Where did I go? I really wanted to put the little whale on there from one stamp set, but he was just a little bit too big. I'm definitely going to have to do something with him because he's so adorable. But yeah, I just wanted to dry fit this a bit. There is a sentiment on this one that said "You are fantastic," but I used that on a card once before and I didn't put it away. So it's probably in my graveyard of stamps, and I need to go look for it and put it back in there. You can see I pulled out several C stamp sets from Brass and Bliss, and I know several of them are retired, so they are for a really great price in this shop, so definitely go look at that. I will put those below. I always love going through and picking out retired stamp sets, or closeout stamp sets from companies. I know that people that are on a budget, that is a great way to get some really great stamp sets, so go check that out. I'm always all about grabbing up the last minute retired stamp sets from companies. And I do believe that Brass Bliss has quite a few, and they even put them even on more sale when we have sales. All right, so I kind of used 3 markers mainly, and then I think I added in a couple more for the stamp set. And since these guys are so little anyways, it didn't take very much. We didn't need a ton of shading, but what I kind of did was stick to the dark and the medium on one, and then the medium and the light on one, to get a little bit of variation. So that's a great way to keep your coloring down to minimum, keep your cards getting bust out pretty quickly. I know a lot of people are like, oh, but the coloring takes so long. Honestly, if you just keep your color palette to a very minimum, it honestly doesn't take as long, especially on these little images. Yes, on bigger images, of course, it does take a little bit longer, but on these little ones, it really doesn't. I think this whole card, it looks like in my, other than maybe the die cutting part, because I usually shut off my camera when I die cut, took 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes. 19 and 9 minutes. So about 30 minutes to get this whole card done. And I think that's honestly pretty amazing. And that's what I've been trying to do with each card in the month. I had to we make 2 cards for, I make 2 videos a month for Brass and Bliss, and I usually try and make one that is more simple and one that is a little bit more intricate, so that we get the best of both worlds, because obviously not all of us have time to sit down and make a card for 2 hours every day. So having ones that we can bust out in 30 minutes definitely helps. And as you can see, yeah, I just keep on pulling a couple of blues out. I pulled out a little bit darker of a blue on here. I think this is BG4. I was using B110. Again, I have to get better at showing you my colors, guys. Please let me know if that is bothering you, and I will get a lot better at that. I haven't had too many comments about colors quite yet, but I do need to get a little bit better about that. So as you can see, this one I did just use the dark, and then I went to go use a lighter one, and I'm like, ooh, that wasn't as light as I wanted. So don't worry about it, guys. Only us. Oh, there we go. We finally are zooming in. I was wondering when we were going to do that. I was, not too many of us are going to notice that on the card afterwards. So I did go over it to try and knock it back a little bit. That's what alcohol markers will do, is they will knock that color back a little bit. But in the end result, look at, you barely can notice it. So, all right. So now that we've zoomed in quite a bit for you guys, and you can definitely see the transition of colors. So I just used the light on that starfish with dark spots. We kind of, go every other one. And here's where I kind of pull out the more teal-ish, blue-green-ish markers, so that G2 or 326, and I think it's G233, I think it is. Again, I use the Olo's old marker combination, so if you do need the new ones, just let me know. Oh, and of course, when I zoom in, I have to remember that my marker caps are mostly out of the range. Ugh, things that you have to get used to. But he turned out so cute. Again, we don't have to color our images exactly how life puts them out there. You can get whimsical. Definitely get whimsical, get fun. Oh, it looks like I using BG5 for my darker, like tealish. This is probably bringing in a bit of like the gray blues, honestly. But it was a bit darker than that G326, I think. So we're using that on his little stripes. Here's where the coloring gets super easy. I just go over the whole darn thing. Like I said, I really wasn't being too precious. There's definitely other cards where I'm super precious about my shadows and kind of like my bigger images. But honestly, like these images are some of the smaller ones that Bliss offers, and we just went right over top of them. They look great, guys. So not every one do you have to be super precious about. I am putting a little bit of gray in their eyes just so that I can show their curvature, and honestly that they're not just like not colored like the rest of them. So we're going to get those die cut, and bam, magic of video. And get them placed down. Hopefully I do zoom out a bit. Sometimes I do forget that I'm so zoomed in. And try and remember the placement that I had all of these on. We're going to pop them up with a little bit of foam tape. I figured that worked. It looked a little bit better. There we go. Just gave them a little bit of dimension and a little bit of shadow. And look at how cute that is. I love that. And anybody that, you know, I think that this would brighten anybody's day. I did have to cut down my foam strips, which is fine. Make them work for you. Oh, right here, I couldn't find my darn scissors. There we go. Those darn scissors just be jumping off the tables, don't they? A couple of foam, and this was pretty easy, except for right now my nails are a mess. So I couldn't get those off. I don't know what is happening with my nails lately. They are so brittle and thin. Ugh, I'm trying to give them a little bit of break from the dip powder, but then it feels like I have no nails because I have nothing on them. All right. And putting those down, and that is pretty much going to shape it up. We are going to, I did decide that it needed a little bit of sparkle, so you're going to see here in a second that I am going to put some just basic gems down on here. Honestly, you could use like clear sequences. You could make this into a shaker. That would be super cute. But yeah, some clear sequences would be really cute too, to like act as the, you know, air bubbles and all that kind of stuff coming up. Or you could make, honestly, this card the full card base of the little waves, aka waves, and that would be gorgeous. And put more little guys on here. I mean, there's many ways that you could do this card, and I think it would come out really cute. So, all right, guys, so check that out. Let me know what you think. Like I said, we are visiting a lot of the old stamps that we've put out previously so that you guys can get more inspiration if you've already picked these up, or maybe you want to pick them up, and usually they're on sale. All right, guys, thank you all so much, and I will see you in the next one. Talk to you soon. Bye.